What's going on, everyone? For today's unboxing, we have the DIYPC Rainbow Flash F4P PC case. This is a standard ATX case and can usually be found on Newegg around the $50 mark. But there's something about this case which is a little different than what we usually do on this channel. This case is super pink. A piece of metal just fell out. I'm sure that's totally fine. Now, if pink is your style, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not my style, so you don't see a lot of that around the shop. But when your client calls and says that they want a pink PC, you answer the phone. Ooh, look at that. First impressions, design-wise, I don't hate it. But yes, it is vibrant. Now, something to mention right off the bat. The reason that they call this the rainbow is because these are LED fans, not RGB, which means that the preset pastel colors that they come in are set. You can't change it. And if you're good with that, no problem. It comes with 4 fans. 4 fans at this price point is a great deal, but just understand you can't change the colors on it. However, these do all look like standard 120mm fans, so if you do want to swap them out, which is what my buyer wants to do, you should have no problem doing that. So since we're already up front, let's go from here. We do have 3 intake fans. Now this is either glass or, yep, it's a glass panel, and your air intake vents are on the side. When we do our build, we'll check temps, we'll see what that looks like. Taking a look at the top, we do have power, USB, headphone mic, USB 3, and restart. The top does have a magnetic mesh, which I can't grab because I have no fingernails. There it is. And it looks like mounts for 2 120mm fans, or even a 240mm radiator. Because while the overall case height, there's not a lot of space, these vents are offset to the side panel, so you should still be able to do your cable management from the top, like your CPU power cable and things like that. Our system that we're gonna end up building is not gonna be water cooled, it's gonna be air cooled, but we are putting more fans up here, so you'll see that when we do it. The rear of the case could not be more standard. And our back panel is flat. Sometimes cases like this, they're a little thinner and there's a bulge here, goes straight down. Those thumb screws are really on there. Now, with our back panel gone, I see that the space here, it's hard to see this on camera, but the space between here and where our panel would be is gonna be really tight. We're gonna have to run most of our cables straight down without overlapping. Now, if you need to mount a hard drive, you would screw it straight into the base of the case. There is no housing for the drives here, so any extra cables from power supply or whatever can fill this well, and that's good because we need it. As I said that, let me correct myself. There is a thumb screw here. There's a plate, so hard drives will actually attach to the top. There are still screws down here, so you can attach one to the upside down roof of, wait. So there is a sliding tray here that you can bring out, attach a hard drive to it, and it'll attach to the ceiling of the power supply shroud. And if you do have another hard drive that you want, you can screw one right into the base of the case. 4 thumb screws for our tempered glass panel. Now, one thing I like about PC cases, unless you're using like a ludicrous size graphic card, is not having so much dead space up at the front. If you're planning on extra radiators, fans, stuff like that, it's okay. But half the time, these cases look half empty because you have your motherboard over here and then all this space. I've even seen that space allocated impractically, in my opinion, for SSD mounting and things like that. This doesn't have that problem. If you're using a 2-fan card, which we will in this build, you're all set. If you are using a 3-fan card, double check your measurements just to be safe. But this little port right here is where the majority of our cables are gonna run through. So as you can see, it's pretty close. Our power supply shroud does have a cutout right here. And it is mesh on top in case you wanted to mount more fans, but I've never been a fan of that. Sorry, I won't do that again. We have pass-throughs in the back for our cables, and the same, we have 2 of them up top as well. And like I said, spacing shouldn't be a problem with these fans mounted forward. Not something that all cases do, so kudos for thinking of that. So overall, the case is light, but not really flimsy. It's very pink. For this price point, it's great that this case comes with fans, even if they are LED. Pink components such as motherboards and graphic cards are relatively non-existent, so I don't mind that the inside of the case is black because with those black components, they'll help tie everything together. And then our other pink accessories, like the cable extensions and the CPU cooler, are obviously going to match the outside. As for the unboxing itself, that's it. This is what you get. And even though I've never built in this case before, what I see so far, I'm cautiously optimistic. Our next video is going to be the build video. I am taking out all of these fans, replacing them, and adding 2 more up top. I'll be putting in all of our components and adding any extra pink flair that I can along the way. This has nothing to do with the Barbie movie. However, the timing is convenient. Oh, and I forgot to mention, just in case you're curious, this PC does come with a little manual and a bag of screws. So thank you for watching. If you're curious how this build turns out, I invite you to check out the next video. In that one, you're gonna see our finished build. You're gonna see how this thing turns out and what it looks like. I am kind of excited. This color scheme is new for me. What is all that standard YouTube stuff again? Oh, that's right. Like, subscribe, there's a bell, find me on social media, so on and so forth. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye.